Sister Emanuela, thank you so much for joining us today for this interview. And in light of this interview being for World Women's Day, I want to start off by asking, what do you value most about being a woman?
I was born that way, you know.
From a businesswoman driving BMWs and Mercedes through the city of London to joining the Missionaries of Divine Revelation, Sister Emanuela Edwards has spent the last 20 years accompanying pilgrims and visitors to Rome, evangelizing through the beauty of the faith. She left the riches of the world behind for what she describes as a greater calling.
I think a woman has a soft way of getting to where she wants to go. I think she's able to look and appreciate and nurture people.
And your journey has taken you from Manchester in the UK to Rome. What was your childhood like in the UK? Did you ever imagine that you'd be joining a religious order?
I knew from an early age that maybe the Lord had something for me to do. And I can say that I was absolutely resistant to it. And so as I was growing up, I had this, I always had this great love, if you like, for the Lord. And so whenever the idea of being a sister, it was kind of, Lord, you can ask me anything, but don't ask me that. But the Lord has his way, of breaking us down. He's the hound of heaven who continues to search for us. And so, as I arrived in my late 20s, I started to ask the Lord seriously, what did he really want me to do? I encountered this wonderful story of the Virgin of Revelation who appeared here in Rome in 1947, and I was captivated by that, and that led me to lead a prayer group in England dedicated to the Virgin of Revelation. And so every Monday evening I would teach the faith, and we would pray the rosary devoted to Our Lady. And so obviously the Lord started to work on me in a more profound way until after a visit to Rome, finally I understood that he called me to be a missionary of divine revelation.
And what do you think is the particular contribution of female missionaries in the world compared to male missionaries?
The woman works, if you like, with the people, amongst the flock, trying in very, very many different ways. We have this wonderful mission of explaining the faith through art, and so that is a point of connection, and I think as a woman it's very, very powerful. And also I think a woman's way is often more disarming, so people feel freer to open up and to ask questions, and that can be important in bringing the faith to this generation.
Not only are you a religious sister, but you're also a tour guide in Rome. What personally drew you to take on this job?
When I accompany people into the great basilicas in Rome, I'm not a tour guide as such, I'm more someone who accompanies the people to understand the history of this wonderful basilica as a means of teaching them the faith, as a means of bringing them closer to God. I think it's something God, if you like, with his call, elected me to do.
And what has been one challenge that you faced both in your vocation and in your professional work that maybe you didn't anticipate at the start?
I think when someone leaves your place where you were born and the language, and you go to a foreign place, there are innumerable challenges. And so every challenge, which can be practical, how to speak Italian, it was a great challenge for me, that. Living in a different place, I don't really like the heat either, so that was a challenge too. It's a challenge as well, not seeing your family regularly as well. So all of these things, which were part of the religious life, part of the call, had to be overcome. And I think the only way to overcome any difficulty, whether it's a practical or a spiritual, is in front of the Blessed Sacrament praying. And so every difficulty that I have, then as now, I confront with the Lord in prayer.
Thank you very much, Sister.
You're welcome.